Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay.
Here we go. Fire it up, baby.
Yep. I am fired up this morning, man. And when I say I'm fired up, I mean I'm really fired up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to, of course, Cruising with the Case Handler. My name is David Squeeze Anarchy. Of course, need for each and everyone out there to turn up their radios. And I need for everyone right now who's watching us on Facebook, before I bring the top gunners on, my attorneys, I would like to pump this up. I would like to get everybody riled up. If you're on the radio, turn up your radios. Also, of course, you can actually listen to us and catch us also on Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, you can go on my Facebook page, David Squeeze Anarchy. Very important for you to check that out, David Squeeze Anarchy. I got a lot of stuff on it, but also you can go to the attorney's page, the case handler, Adam Handler. Yeah, the man was settled well over 120 million US dollars for his clients. We'll talk more about that later on personal injury. But also, of course, we've got, ladies and gentlemen, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico, the firm that Adam is a partner in. And ladies and gentlemen, immigration, we're going to be talking a lot about that. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you actually like the page, follow the page, and of course, subscribe to the notification. So every time that the attorneys and I, David Squeeze Anarchy, go live, you will get a notification, because Facebook is a business. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people don't know that. No matter how many followers you have, when you actually go live, they do not push it out to all of your followers, just a small percentage. If memory serves me correct, it's like about 3%. So you have got to actually like, follow, and subscribe to the page, ladies and gentlemen. So when we go live, you get the notifications. Also, of course, 93.5 FM. Set your alarms. Just say, hey, Siri, set my alarm, and give the time that we're on in the mornings. 8:30, the attorneys come your way. It's called Cruising with the Case Handler, 7 p.m. on Saturdays and 12 noon on Sundays. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to get into the show right now, right here on 93.5 WVIP FM in New York. And once again, on social media, David Squeeze Anarchy's page, Adam Handler's page, the Case Handler, and PPID's page, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. Once again, you can reach us to ask your personal injury questions or immigration questions at 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Make that call. But before we introduce the attorneys, before I introduce my friend here, my co-pilot here, Mr. Adam Handler, okay, I would like to remind you once again, please, we're asking, if you're watching this on Facebook, okay, which I'm looking over on that side to make sure we're up. Yep, we're live on the radio and we're live on Facebook. Do me a favor, everybody. Can you please share the page? Maybe you are a member of groups. Maybe you're a member of other pages. Just share it. Also share it on your timeline. Okay, just share it on your timeline. Find your friends and just share the link, especially if you know that they need legal help. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, let me jump right into it. Let me go to gallery view. And I see 4 gentlemen here on the screen. Some of them think that they're better looking than others, as per a comment yesterday, but I will not get into that. We're here to talk law talk. All right. Let me introduce the case handler right here on 93.5 FM, Mr. Handler, Mr. $120 million plus. How's my dupes doing? How's my friend doing? Wagwan Adam, where you set, my dupes?
Wagwan King, good morning to you. June 2nd, 2020. It's Tuesday morning, and we are here and ready to go. Yesterday, we had a very, very serious show, which I think was a result of a lot of pent-up emotions over the weekend, and still a crazy, crazy time on top of an even crazier time. It seems like we can't get a break these days with feeling very emotional, but we are here and we're ready to talk about whatever it is that comes through the airwaves these days. And we're here to let everybody know that Pollack, Isaac, DeSico is a law firm. We've been around for over 50 years, serving all people, particularly the immigrant community, obtain justice, whether it's personal injury, real estate, matrimonial, or of course immigration cases. We're here to help. We're here to give you honest legal answers to your questions, and we're here to do it by way of phone consultations, 100% free. Our phone number is 844-774-3529 or 844-PPID Law. I'd ask everybody that can safely do so right now, give it a call. Let it ring a few times. Save it in your phone, or if not, let it ring more than a few times. Let somebody pick up and schedule that free consultation, whether it's immigration or personal injury. We love to hear from you, and we love to hear what's on your mind. The outpouring has been amazing. The community that's embraced us, we're certainly embracing you back. We always do, but we're doing it even more so now with these free consultations and trying to provide everybody good quality content out there. We've gotten overwhelming response to this show, Cruising with the Case Handler, which David and I started earlier this year, and then we added the immigration component to it. And really, it looks like there's no stopping us now. So I'm thrilled with the result. I'm pleased with the response, and I'm looking forward to continuing to do good work both in the office and in court, and of course on social media platforms, just letting everybody know the kind of people and the kind of firm we are. So good morning to you. Thank you so much. Looking forward to what Gregg has to say today. It's been a few weeks since we've had Gregg Pinto on. We'll introduce him in a second, but of course, I want to make sure I introduce my partners, Conrad Pollack and Nelson Madrid. Conrad the Maestro and Nelson the Maverick. They head up the immigration department here at PPID, and Gregg is associated with our firm, out of counsel actually, in the criminal department, criminal defense department. He was a former prosecutor, flipped to the other side now, representing individuals that have been arrested and charged with crimes and misdemeanors. And I'm very curious as to what his opinion and professional view on what's been going on in New York City these past couple of days, because the chaos is continuing. We have wonderful, peaceful protests, and then we have violent looting, two different ends of the spectrum. And I'm very curious from his professional legal opinion as to how these cases will be prosecuted. So welcome aboard, Gregg, and David, thanks for having us all on this morning.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's called Cruising with a Case Handler. Adam says I'm the captain. I don't know about that. Maybe I'm a compass, but I don't know about the captain. All right. And it's always great to surround yourself with attorneys. And that's what you are doing, just like myself. I'm no special person. I'm just a regular human being. I just happen to be black in a country that, of course, has issues with that. But we'll talk about that soon. Okay. That's what this show is all about also. That's what this show is about. We've got attorneys that's advocating for you, regardless of your race, your creed, your color, your religion. You know what? I got up this morning and I said, you know what? Yesterday, I was completely pissed off. Yesterday, I was completely angry. Today, I still am. But then I said, you know what? I've got great people around me to advocate for myself and my community. So I'm going to come with an energy that is going to be different from any other. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm not going to take this lying down. I'm going to, of course, embrace my attorney friends. We've got a criminal defense attorney on this morning. We've got my immigration friends that's on, and attorneys that's on this morning. I got my personal injury and co-pilot, Adam. So I said, you know what? I'm bringing the heat. That's what I'm doing. I am bringing the heat. I love these gentlemen. I love them. Okay, so I'm bringing the heat, and I'm not going to stop bringing the heat. So those of you who are cowards in bringing the heat, that's your problem. But everybody that's on Facebook, everybody that's listening to 93.5, let's stand up, as Bob Marley would say. All right? Let us stand up, and let's stand up for our rights. And how do we defend our rights, ladies and gentlemen, when we have issues? We do that with our attorneys. We do that with attorneys that's on our side. So that's the reason why I am so hyped today, and I have absolutely no apology for that. These gentlemen have stood by me for years. Adam has been there for me for years. He has helped me with many cases. And here I am. I have great immigration attorneys. I've got a criminal defense attorney on this morning. So you have them also. And that's the reason why I say call PPID 844-774-3529. So if you want to get a free immigration question answered right now, a phone consultation, call that number. I guarantee you the consultation will be free, because the head of the firm, Conrad, said, fine, Squeeze, fine, Adam. I will give free immigration consultations to anyone that's listening to the show. That's a great thing. 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Conrad, welcome. Nelson, welcome. Gregg, welcome. These are attorneys, by the way, folks. And I have no apology about my energy, so I don't want to hear any comments. I am so upset, but I'm bringing the heat. just like that ass H that brought it yesterday, which was very hypocritical, standing in front of a church with a Bible for a photo op. I don't get it, but I'm not going there today. Anyway, gentlemen, how you all doing?
Great.
All good. All good. Raring to go. All good.
All right. So, Mr. Managing Partner, attorney, practicing attorney, I know you got that look on your face, like you want to say so much, but you're like, no, let me just hold it back. Anyway,
trying to keep the politics out of the show today. I mean,
yes.
Yeah, I saw that photo op this morning myself. It's just, what can you say at this point, 3.5 years in? You know, it's just, every day is just a new surprise. I put it that way.
Don't worry about it, Conrad. You got my back. I got your back. Okay. You got the people's back. Okay. And I'm very happy. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of Nelson. You guys have been speaking to so many immigrants. Okay. So many Caribbean immigrants and beyond. And I am very proud of you. And that's the reason why I'm so louder this morning. Nelson, I want to hear your comments, what you got to say before I speak with my criminal defense attorney who is on board with me today, just in case anybody got their asses locked up. He's got your back because you were protesting and exercising the First Amendment. We'll talk about that in a few. Nelson, what up?
What's going on? Here, watching the news, obviously a little disturbed still by everything that's going on. But, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's Nelson, folk. He's the maverick. He's that one that's under the radar and then he strikes. So if you've ever had any issues, okay, if you've ever had any issues and you're trying to get your immigration status sorted out, don't go anywhere else. Go with that man, Nelson Madrid, aka the Maverick. Many of you have gotten into issues and you paid your debt to society. Guess what? Now you want to act absolutely fly straight. You want to get your immigration status sorted out. You have had some infractions with the law. Ladies and gentlemen, go with the Maverick as far as immigration benefits are concerned. The number, 844-774-3529, before Adam tells me to do it, 844-774-3529. And yes, follow the pages on Facebook, The Case Handler, David Squeezanik's Facebook page, Pollack, Isaac, and Desico, that's PPID. And share right now. Share right now. We want to get to some record numbers today. And we want to say thanks to people like Linda, people like Desdale. They're on the Facebook pages and they're sharing away. Let's go to my criminal defense attorney right now, Gregg Pinto, that is on board with Cruising with the Case Handler this morning. Welcome to the show, Gregg. How you feeling today, man? And I need for you to tell me exactly what's on your mind. What do you want to say to millions of people listening to this radio station, watching us on Facebook? What do you have to say as a criminal defense attorney on Cruising with the Case Handler this morning?
Well, good morning. I think, first of all, I got to come on more often so I can get a cool nickname.
It will happen. I promise you that. With Adam Adler, he's going to make sure you have one. I promise you.
You know, I think, as Nelson said, you know, we're watching the news and it's you don't know which way to turn because there's so many different images that are flashing across your screen at all times. From a criminal law perspective, you know, I think there's going to be a very clear line that's drawn between people who are arrested for things like protesting or even contact with the police that doesn't end up being violent or doesn't result in an injury, and then looting, destruction of property, and serious violence against the police. Those are going to be the things that I think we're going to see get really handled in a very, very, I would say, harsh way in terms of punishment and in terms of sentencing. Whereas I think anything related to protest, peaceful protest, even, you know, mildly aggressive protest will probably be a little bit of an easier case to deal with from a criminal defense lawyer perspective.
Well, let me ask you this question, Gregg.
Okay,
if you are arrested for a peaceful protest, you know, how does that affect your record? Is it a crime? Is it a misdemeanor? Is it just a violation? Tell me how, you know, being arrested in a peaceful protest would play out.
Okay, so if you're totally peaceful, I think it's possible that you would probably only be cited for something like disorderly conduct or something along those lines. I think there's like a scale as you increase your activity. So I think it's probably more likely that you would be arrested for some sort of misdemeanor, probably something like obstruction, obstructing governmental authority. Of course, then, the police, they tend to charge resisting arrest whenever they can. And so those situations, frequently, if you don't want to be arrested, you're going to end up being charged with resisting arrest because it's a pretty easy charge for them to make out. But what happens in those situations is once we're past the arrest phase and the case starts to filter through the courts and the prosecutors get involved and cooler heads start to prevail, they will start to sort these cases into different categories. And in the situation that you described, Adam, those are going to be on the lower end of the scale, and for that reason, you might see a lot of those cases either get dismissed or get resolved with a lesser charge where you would not end up with a criminal record. And so I would think, obviously these cases haven't made their way all the way through yet, so we don't know exactly how the various district attorneys are going to handle it. But I would think, if you haven't done something that involves looting or involves some act of violence where somebody was seriously hurt, I think you have a great likelihood that you will not end up with a criminal record.
Absolutely. Once you arrest Pinto, right?
Can I just add,
case handler. All right. Let me just squeeze out the phone number here, gentlemen. I'm sorry about that. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. You are in tune to Cruising with the Case Handler, where we speak on personal injury and immigration. And obviously, we're dealing with a law firm that is a full-service law firm. You're listening to Gregg Pinto speaking on criminal defense. We're speaking about what's happening with the protests and everything that's out there. And once again, just remember this: we do not support violence in any way, shape, or form. We do not support any illegal activity in any way, shape, or form. So do not go out there and don't be pushed to doing any of that. In this country, we do have rights, okay? And that's the reason why we've got our attorneys here to make things very clear for you, that you have rights and you have, of course, attorneys that will stand for you. But once again, do the right thing on the outside out there. 844-774-3529. What you can do for us is tip your waiter, as my co-pilot Adam Handler would say. Can you do us a favor? Can you log on to Facebook and follow the pages Pollack, Isaac, and Desico? Can you follow the Case Handler page? Can you follow David Squeezatic's page? And more importantly, can you share the page now and subscribe? Let's keep the numbers up. We're growing in numbers. Let's keep that up, Linda. Let's keep that up, Desdale. Thank you so much. Now, someone was saying something here. Go ahead.
Gregg was.
I just wanted to add, because the question was, if someone were to be arrested for protesting or arrested at the protest, does that mean they'll end up with a criminal record? So it's always a good place to start, especially for the audience that may not have, so much familiarity with these issues. Being arrested is simply an accusation by the police that you committed a crime. Doesn't mean you have a criminal record. It means you got arrested. Just like, if you were arrested for something you didn't do, you'd exercise your right to go to trial and hopefully be acquitted. Obviously, at that point, you'd have no criminal record. So your criminal record means that you've been convicted either by a guilty plea or after a trial. So if you're arrested for something at a protest and your lawyer is able to work out some sort of resolution where the case gets dismissed, or you resolve it with some sort of lesser charge that is not a crime, then you don't have a criminal record in a very technical sense. And if someone were to ask you at a job interview or an application for housing or something like that, if they ask you if you have a criminal record, you can honestly look them in the eye and say no.
Well, let's flip it over now to Nelson. How would an arrest during a peaceful protest affect your immigration status?
Thank you for asking me the question, because I was going to actually chime in. For immigration purposes, the question is, have you ever been arrested, period. So irrespective of how that case was concluded, if you were arrested, you need to disclose that arrest. Obviously, during any interview, you will be asked about details to that arrest, but it's imperative you disclose the fact that you were arrested, because you were arrested.
So regardless of the outcome, you still have to disclose, obviously, you're arrested. And I'm sure a conviction or the result of that arrest is going to be important, which is, I guess, is even more reason to have a good criminal defense attorney working on your case. You know, a lot of people, I guess, Greg, you can attest to this, you know, go with the free public defender that would probably just work out the easiest deal possible and not think down the road as to how it's going to affect somebody's immigration status, right?
Right. And we see cases where years later is when people realize that they made this mistake, that, you know, they right away, their first instinct is to, and Nelson and I have actually worked on a few of these cases together, because it's a sad story when someone decides to plead guilty because they just want to get out, and their attorney in the back, you know, right after they've been arrested, they, you know, they haven't even seen a judge yet. It's been, you know, 12 hours or 18 hours. And all they're thinking is, I have to get out. I have school tomorrow. I have work tomorrow. My kids are home. You know, I don't know what's going on. So they'll take any deal at all. And, you know, and if that results in a criminal record and they don't realize it, or that it results in some sort of deal that Nelson and Conrad would say, no, you're gonna have big immigration problems down the road. At that moment, it's all about that instant gratification of, get me out of this cell, get me out of, you know, get me out of here so I can go take care of my business.
And another thing that I want to chime in also, Greg Pinto, our criminal defense attorney on board today, is that a lot of people, they need to select the right criminal defense attorney. And let me just say that very carefully. A lot of us out there, and this is a very strong word, we are ignorant. We do not understand the law, hence attorneys. But I want everyone to turn up the radios and listen carefully. Be very careful. The fact that you just get out of jail, the fact that you hired some attorney, or you went with legal, you know, what do you call it, legal aid, okay? You went with the public attorney, right? And you decided to go for a probation. You accept probation, no jail time. That does not mean that you don't have a conviction. And attorneys, back me up here, okay? Because a lot of people believe that they don't have a conviction because they just got probation. They got a slap on the wrist. They think they don't have a conviction. I mean, even a traffic offense is a conviction, ladies and gentlemen, if you're found guilty. So attorneys, can you quickly explain that for me?
If I could just add, actually, an arrest at the consular level, if you're trying to consular process, meaning if you're abroad, that's a question that's asked, you know, and again, obviously any form of immigration benefit is typically discretionary. So that's something that the officer could take into consideration as well. But to answer your question directly, yes, I think, as Greg said, Greg and I have worked on many cases where people were basically told, look, just say you're guilty, don't worry about it, it's a slap on the wrist, you could go home. And 10, 15, 20 years later, the person is now in removal proceedings with an arrest for potentially a sale of a controlled substance, and they've got problems.
Definitely.
You know, also, if I could just jump in going back to what you were saying, Nelson, about people applying at the consulates. You know, people are listening to us all over the world. You know, so people down in the Caribbean, you know, you're applying for your case through a consular office there in Jamaica or Barbados or where have you. As Nelson said, an arrest is enough to cause you major grief. The consulates can do their own investigation. They see that you were arrested and maybe the charges were dropped or whatever. If the consular officer considers that to be a serious enough offense, they could hold you up. They could deny your case for their own decision-making process and make their own determination whether you were found guilty or pled guilty or not. So, you know, that is something to seriously consider. And unlike immigration here, where you can appeal a denial, you can take them to court, when a consular officer denies your case, there is no review. There is no such thing as consular review. All you can do if you are denied at a consular post is try to reach out to them yourself and try to convince them, provide other evidence that they made a mistake in their decision, or hire someone like us at PPID to contact the consular office to show them other evidence, to show them that that they made a mistake in rendering that decision. So an arrest or fraud or anything at the consular level can be a very serious problem and a very difficult obstacle to overcome.
Right, and just to add to that, Squeeze, if I could, for 5 seconds.
Shoot out the number for me also.
Phone number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529.
if you fail to disclose that arrest, that's a problem as well.
Yep.
So it's just something to take into, consideration and something to think about.
And we get that question frequently from clients. Oh, well, I was arrested 10 years ago. They dropped the charges. All right. Do I have to mention that? Yes, you do. You certainly do, because that was an arrest. Even if nothing went, even if there was no process, you didn't have to show up in court. You paid a fine. Charges were dismissed. If you're arrested, you were arrested. Right. And you have to indicate that on the application, whichever form there is. And let me tell you, folks, I can't think of a form anymore at the Immigration Service that doesn't ask about arrests. Every single application you file with the Immigration Service asks you not just about convictions, but about arrests as well.
Absolutely. Once again, folks, it's called Cruising with the Case Handler. I'm about to speak with Adam Handler. For all the folks out there, do remember to switch to Facebook right now if you'd like to listen to Cruising with the Case Handler right here, where we speak on personal injury, immigration, and yes, we're speaking on criminal defense today. I would like everyone right now, do us all a favor, myself, the businessman, and the attorneys. We want for every single person, if you love us, if you're tuning into this show, if you love yourself, if you want to help others, and you want to provide, phenomenal attorneys to them, dial this number. Let it ring 15, 20 seconds, like we say. So this way, Adam Handler, the attorney, knows that you are registering the number. Dial the number, let it ring 15, 20 seconds. That's 844-774-3529. If you are ever arrested, you will need to reach out to the firm and ask for Gregg Pinto. 844-774-3529. That's 844-PPIDLAW. If you have an immigration issue, how about getting a free immigration consultation today? A free phone consultation off the air with an attorney. But you've got to call now. 844-774-3529. If you get hurt in an accident, yes, if you get hurt in an accident, construction accident, medical malpractice, an automobile accident, slip and fall, you will need to reach out to the shark, aka the case handler, Adam Handler. All you've got to do is dial this number down and say, yeah, Adam, may I store your number? 844-774-3529. As a matter of fact, I want everybody to call him right now. He's by the phone. Just dial 844-774-3529 and say, Adam, wagwan, you're good? 844-774-3529. We've got immigration questions to ask immigration attorneys in a few. If you want to hear them, flip over to Facebook, David Squeezaniki's Facebook page, Adam Handler's Facebook page, or Pollack, Isaac, and the Seco PPID, 844-774-3529. Once again, I'm hype. Okay, you all know why, with what's going on in this nation. I could go on, but I'm trying to stay on the course of what we're here to do, and that's helping our people, and I'm just very happy that we've got phenomenal attorneys here helping. Now, can you please share the page that you're watching, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, Blanche, can you share the page? Patrick, can you share the page? Philippa, can you share the page? Stacy, can you share the page? Okay, please. Thank you so much. 844-774-3529. We've got quite a few people watching us on Facebook. And of course, we're getting into the immigration questions. Go there, place your questions there, ladies and gentlemen. Go to David Squeezaniki or Adam Handler or PPID. With that said, 844-774-3529 is the number. That's 844 PPID-LAW.
It's 9 o'clock.
That's it. It's 9 o'clock. All right. So we got that in there on the 93.5 FM side. We are here now on the Facebook side, ladies and gentlemen. And it's good to be here with the attorneys with so many things happening in our country today. One of the things that I wanted to squeeze in before the top of the hour, but I didn't get a chance to, is the fact that we need to become citizens if we are not. We need to vote in this election, ladies and gentlemen. I know a lot of people say they don't want to vote, but it's extremely important that we vote. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to flip it over to Adam Handler to speak a little bit about personal injury, or a lot about personal injury. I don't know if he has a true success story. He always has true success stories. So let me just give him the helm right now. Adam, you've been a little bit somber, I would say. Normally you jump in more.
Yeah, no, listen.
Are you okay, man? Are you okay? Don't let what it is that's happening out there, kill your vibes. You know?
It's not killing my vibes. I'm just trying to process it in a positive way, and that's by bringing quality attorneys on this show. You know, yesterday I said, man, we got to have Gregg back. We should have him more often because he's a pro at this. But you know, we got to have Gregg back because he really gives this show even more depth and more insight as to how things are being handled right now.
It's good to have him. It's very, very good to have him because, you know, I'll put it out there and I'll say it. And maybe you guys don't want to say it, but I'll say it. We have a lot of issues in our community. We have a lot of issues in our Black community, our Caribbean community, where, you know, people are getting arrested every single day, but they don't have the right attorneys to represent them. And the biggest mistake I see that's happening in our immigrant community and the Caribbean community is how the system, and this is me saying this, let me disclaim it, all right? How the system take advantage of people of color, all right? They don't advise people of their rights enough. People because of ignorance, you know, will not hire an attorney, saying because the cop will say one thing, you know, the system will say one thing. And that's one of the reasons why I'm very happy that we have this show to let people understand. Not hiring an attorney, ladies and gentlemen, it could have major impact on your life. Major impact. Major impact. And that's one of the reasons why I'm very happy, Adam, that we have these great attorneys here, man. And I'll let you continue. Sorry about
I appreciate that. Yeah, listen, we're just trying to do good work. I mean, that's the message we keep sending day in and day out, whether we're talking about an immigration story or an immigration question, or of course, a personal injury, true life success story. We pride ourselves on doing the best possible work we can do. You know, we're professionals. We've been here for a while, and it's not by coincidence. It's because we're really, really good at what we do. And moreover, we do it the right way. We treat our clients like family. We make sure that you feel respected and part of the process. You know, Conrad and I are both have multi-generation lawyer families. I'm third generation. He's second generation. And you know, we know how to do it the right way. And that's why, you know, we're well known within the state of New York, New Jersey, and really, you know, gaining momentum on a national scale with respect to immigration. I, of course, handle the personal injury department. My job is to make sure that you and your family get the most possible money possible. Did I say that twice? Yeah, the most money possible. If God forbid you're in an accident, a car accident, a construction accident, slip or trip and fall. And for the past couple months, we saw a significant decrease in new cases. You know, less people on the road, less people walking on the street, less people working at their jobs. And now that everything's, you know, finally starting to get back on track, thankfully, things are getting back on track. But regretfully, there's an increased incidence of injury. That just goes with the territory. More people out there doing more things, you're going to have unfortunate situations in which people become injured. So we are starting to get more and more phone calls about people getting into these kind of accidents. And the most important thing I can tell you guys out there is that we're here and we're ready. We've always been ready and we've always been working. You know, we're over $12 million this year alone for case handler clients, you know, millions and millions of dollars since the pandemic hit. In fact, my associate, Matthew Goodstein, settled a big case yesterday, $150,000. You know, this is somebody that came to us for their one and only shot at financial justice. And not only were all his medical bills paid, all his time out of work reimbursed, he's getting 150 grand tax free on top of that. So truly remarkable things. And one true, you know, one success story I'd like to share today, just because I was in the mood, and, you know, I want to give a fair, you know, being an attorney is seeing both sides and seeing past the stereotype and just looking at the facts. And one case that you know, we're certainly proud of is a case in which we represented somebody that was very deserving of financial compensation, and a super nice guy. In fact, he was such a nice guy that whenever he used to call our firm to talk to us and ask us questions about the case, we would call him Mr. Nice Guy. And that's exactly what we dubbed him when it was time to settle his case and get him his money. And like, we say, it's not always the multi-million-dollar case. Certainly we're blessed enough to be able to work on those kind of cases for deserving individuals, getting millions and millions of dollars from them. But we're also handling cases that are worth, 10, 20, 30, 50, 150, like yesterday, or $500,000. This one actually settled for $37,500. But I picked this one because I smile every time I see this picture, because he was just a super nice guy. And in this photograph is myself, Mr. Nice Guy, which is the name we use to protect his identity, Matthew, my associate, and Miguel, one of my former paralegals who actually moved back down home to Florida to develop his own professional career down there. So this picture makes me happy. Great individuals, and of course, a great quote, David, if you wouldn't mind doing me the honor.
Yeah. First things first. Who's the guy on the left?
I know. I go, I have more and more looks. I got long hair, short hair. I'm skinny. I'm fat. I'm in a suit. I'm not in a suit. I'm wearing glasses. I'm not wearing glasses. But no matter what I look like, I'm still going to get you those big bucks, baby.
All right, no problem. Okay, screw up a little for me. All right, yeah. It says here, I recommend anyone to the case handler team. They got that extra yard. They were all very nice and professional. Initially, I spoke to Ava and she was very helpful getting me set up with therapy close to my job. Matthew Goodstein, Adam Handler, and Miguel are wonderful people. Thank you all for the good work you did on my case. Mr. Nice Guy from Hempstead, New York. 37,500 US greenbacks.
Yep. Yep. And this was a case, which as the story indicates, and everybody that is watching right now, obviously you're on Facebook and most likely you're connected to my page. So you see, we post these true life success stories every Tuesday. We call them Testimonial Tuesday. He was on his way to a family barbecue. I mean, it just goes to show you never know when disaster is going to strike. You're not always going to work. You're not always on your way home from running an errand. Sometimes you can be going to something, as simple and as pleasurable as being together with your family, and things go terribly, terribly wrong. But as long as you're calling the police first and seeking medical attention, and we're able to prove the way the accident happened, and also prove that you actually have sustained a physical injury, we'll be able to be successful for you. And the proof is in the pudding. I mean, we've done some incredible things over my career, and specifically since I joined Pollack Isaac DeSico almost 6 years ago. Millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars for my clients, and it's something we're proud of. And I am not ashamed of these results. Yes, money is taboo, but when money is your only remedy, a civil justice system provides for one remedy to plaintiffs, to injured parties, and that's monetary compensation. That's the best thing I can do. Obviously, Nelson and Conrad do what they need to do to obtain justice. That's adjusting your immigration status or preventing you from being deported. And of course, Gregg Pinto does what he can to do to obtain justice, to make sure that you have a fair trial and you're not either falsely accused of a crime or overly accused of a crime.
Look at all
that's what we do here. So I'm thrilled to be part of this team, and I'm actually Gregg didn't respond, so I'm going to put it out there too. We're giving free consultations over the phone. He didn't respond when I said, "Is it okay if we say you'll give free consultations?" I'm deciding for him right now. If you have any criminal case that you want either somebody to talk about or talk to, or want to get an opinion, Gregg will speak to you absolutely free over the phone, no strings attached. But again, you must have our number. Unless you have it, we'll never know who you are, and we'll certainly never know whether you have a potential case. 844-774-3529 or 844-PPID-LAW.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. His name is Adam Handler. We refer to him from time to time as the Shark, because he goes for the juggler when it comes to maximum compensation for you. He will fight for you tooth and nail. And we want to say thanks to the case handler in settling well over $120 million for his clients. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is called Cruising with the Case Handler. And of course, that's yours truly, David Squeezaniki, with Adam Handler, and the attorneys Nelson Madrid an immigration attorney, Conrad Pollack, another immigration attorney. We've got Gregg Pinto, our criminal defense attorney, on board today. And we are here. I'm going to jump to quickly because I don't want us to keep these people waiting here, to a couple of immigration questions, and we'll talk a bit more about other things here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's quickly jump to an immigration question. Hello, I am a LPR, legal permanent resident of the U.S. I have been residing out of the U.S. since 2 years. I have a valid reentry permit, travel document that expires in the coming months. Where I am right now, the country has been in complete lockdown since the last 70 days, and the airports closed and all flights halted since almost 73 days. This lockdown and airport closure is extended at least till June 30th, with a high possibility of further extension. If in case I can't fly back till the date my travel document expires, what happens? What are my options? My husband and 2 children are all U.S. citizens and are here together with me. Is there any way I could extend my reentry permit from where I am right now?
All right, first off, the person has a green card. That's what a lawful permanent resident means. And typically, permanent resident has to be physically present in the United States at least once a year. And I'm speaking generally now. If they're going to be out of the country for more than a year, then they apply for a reentry permit, which is basically a passport, which permits that legal permanent resident to stay out of the country for up to 2 years. That's what this person has done. Now, you can get a new reentry permit. However, when you apply for a reentry permit, you must be physically present in the United States on U.S. citizen territory to submit that application. You could submit your application today and then leave tomorrow. That's fine. But you must be present in the United States physically when you submit that application. Hence this person's problem, because she's saying that she can't get back to the United States in order to do that. Also, the permit is going to expire, it sounds like, so she's concerned how is she going to get back if it does expire before she gets back. There is no clear rule of thumb in this situation. What I would suggest is get back here if at all possible before that permit expires, number one. Number two, if you can't, if everything is in lockdown, which I'm surprised. I mean, most countries do have flights now back to the United States, or maybe you could hop a flight to some other country that has a flight back to the U.S. I would strongly recommend you get back to the U.S. before that permit expires. If you can't, document. Make sure of your efforts, get proof of everything you tried to do to get back to the United States. And when you do finally come back, you'll probably, if your permit is expired, you will probably get stopped at the airport, and they could put you into what's known as deferred inspection, at which time you'd go before an examiner and you'd explain your situation. Worst case scenario, they could put you before a judge, an immigration judge as well, to try to take away your green card. Really, that depends on your previous history. If this is the first time you've ever been out like this, it shouldn't be an issue. If you've been doing this for years, that you hardly are ever here, you've been in the United States twice in the last 5 or 10 years, then you might have a problem. And again, I would suggest you get back here as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
If I could just add, actually, I was on a webinar yesterday with the field office director for CBP at JFK. And basically, he said that he understands the situation, that CBP, at least in New York, is going to be flexible. You know, it's going to be on a case by case, and basically you will have to show that you've maintained ties to the United States, such as you have property, you have family, you have a bank account. And, you know, obviously they understand that many people were unable to travel. So this is something they would take into consideration.
But you must document your efforts. You can't just say, well, you know, I have this bank account and I have family back in the U.S. But you know what? Even though my permit expired 6 months ago, I'm going to hang out in Jamaica for another 6 months. Can't do that. You have to document your efforts that you tried to get back. Otherwise, if you can't show that, you're going to lose your green card.
There you go. 844-774-3529. 844-774-3529. Of course, you heard the immigration attorneys answering that question. Got a couple more questions, but let me kick it over to our criminal defense attorney on board. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the number for the law firm is 844-774-3529. It's a full service law firm. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, you heard from our personal injury attorney, Adam Handler, the case handler. You have heard from, of course, Conrad Pollack, the maestro, okay, managing partner and practicing attorney there. You have heard from Nelson Madrid, aka the Maverick, all right? And obviously you have heard from Gregg Pinto, earlier. He's not on the show as often, but it's very good to have him today speaking on criminal defense, speaking on criminal law. And we know that's something that is within our community a lot where we need criminal defense help. So it's good to have him on board. So Gregg Pinto, I'll let you expound as to any other topics you want to speak on here on Cruising with the Case Handler.
Greg, before you start, I'm thinking, we're talking about nicknames. What about the Hammer?
Oh, I like it. All
Greg
right.
the Hammer Pinto.
Kick that around. I like it. We'll have to ask the case handler what he thinks, but I'm in.
It just came to mind, the Hammer. I like that.
Greg the Hammer Pinto.
I think one of the things I'm reminded of, before I was a defense attorney, I think Adam may have mentioned earlier that I'm a former prosecutor also. I started my career as an assistant district attorney in Brooklyn. And by the time I left, I was in this rackets division where one of the things they investigated in my division was police brutality and police misconduct. And, I saw from the inside how difficult it is for those prosecutors to make those cases, because prosecutors are so accustomed to their star witnesses are the police. And in a police brutality case, in a shooting, or in some event where a cop does something wrong, the police, we all know about that, the blue line, the police don't want to testify against a fellow officer. And the police aren't as cooperative as they should be. And sure, the NYPD has an internal affairs bureau and they assist with those kinds of things, but it doesn't change the fact that it's difficult. Just like, any crime that they're investigating becomes more difficult when you have reluctant witnesses. And so, I think everybody who's calling for justice in Minnesota correctly wants justice. I think the thing that gets overlooked a little bit is, it's not an easy job to prosecute a police officer. And so, it's so easy to just say, we got to arrest all the guys. And how hard could this be? They're murderers. And you know what? Very likely they are. But when you hear the district attorney saying, I need to take my time with this, it's not because they want to somehow delay justice. Sometimes it really is a matter of, you have to get your hands on the video, and the people who you need to get it from aren't as cooperative as they should be. It's a difficult thing. And also, these district attorneys and prosecutors are politicians. They have relationships with the police officers. They need those police officers to be their witnesses on every other case that doesn't involve brutality. And so it's sensitive for them also.
If the system wants a video of the one that happened recently, they can go to my page. David's
right. No, that's true.
Although I gotta just add this, and I was having a conversation with a family member the other day. This cop involved in the Gregg Floyd murder had 18 prior complaints made against him.
Yeah.
Squeeze, if I had 18 complaints filed by 18 different clients, I would not be practicing law.
That's
period.
True. Yep.
Okay.
But part of the reason why I brought it up is because I think we're seeing videos now of what police are doing out there on the street to protesters and looters and rioters, some people that aren't protesters, that are just there to cause trouble. And we're wondering what's going to happen to those cops. Look, they covered their badge number. They're covering their face. Everybody has a mask on. We're never going to be able to get this bad cop. It would have been hard in any situation to go after any cop that does something, that's over aggressive in these situations anyway. So it's so hard to get justice for people who have suffered at the hands of the police. It's unbelievable. And now we're seeing, what decades of that will generate these feelings of just complete anger and rage. It's incredible.
Yep, it is. Once again, folks, if you're just joining us, you are listening to the voice and watching the face of Gregg Pinto, all right, the Hammer, all right, and he's our criminal defense attorney on board today.
GP Hammer, I like it, GP Hammer.
GP Hammer,
I'll come with some props next time. I'll bring my own hammer.
So
I like it.
We want to say, folks, if you're looking for an attorney in the capacity of criminal defense, make sure you reach out to the law firm PPID. The number is 844-774-3529. Share that on the page, ladies and gentlemen. 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. If you're looking for personal injury attorneys, ladies and gentlemen, the man is Adam Handler. Adam Handler and Matthew Goodstein, they're taking it to the jugular. All right. They're making sure they get the maximum compensation for you when you are in an accident. You don't need to go anywhere else except 911 to the emergency room. God forbid you get hurt that bad. And also, of course, you then call PPID. Call the case handler, 844-774-3529. And obviously, immigration, ladies and gentlemen, Conrad Pollack, Nelson Madrid, and all their associates, they're ready, willing, and able to help you. And they want to prove that to you by giving you a free phone consultation. Yes, if you call now, 844-774-3529 off air, they will take your calls and give you a free phone consultation. And yes, you're speaking with an attorney. All right, jumping back to immigration questions here. All right, got a question here. It says, my sister filed my I-130 petition for alien relative back in 2014 and it got approved. Last week, my sister received a letter from Immigration Services and now they're asking for me and my sister's birth certificate. I just want to know how long it will take from this phase as it looks like they have started working on my case. Okay, so that's a query.
2000. It sounds like they filed 2014. She filed. They have a long way to go. Cases like that typically take at least 10 years. The State Department puts out a visa bulletin on what's called priority dates, the waiting list for categories like this. There's a quota every year on, depending on what the relationship is, their category. Each of these relationships are categorized into a preference category. In this case, I think she said it's a sibling petition. That's a family-based fourth preference petition. And typically it takes about 10 years. So she still has a ways to go.
Gotcha. All right. Here's another one. Hello, by the way, folks, the phone number, 844-774-3529. Got to slip that in between, 844-PPID-LAW. Hello, I'm currently waiting for my interview to get my green card. I am married to an American citizen. In August, I would like to travel back to my home country for a vacation since I haven't seen my family in 2 years. I have the travel document, but will they let me back in the USA?
Well, if she's got a travel document, they should. Sounds like she applied for adjustment of status and then applied with the adjustment of status, applied for what's called advanced parole, which is the travel authorization, which is typically valid for a year. As long as that travel authorization is valid and she hasn't done anything improper or lied or committed any crimes recently, in which case, if she has been arrested, maybe not prosecuted, she does need to tell the truth that she was arrested when asked. But she shouldn't have a problem getting back into the U.S. if that travel authorization, that advanced parole, is still valid.
844-774-3529, 844-PPID. Final question here. It's a little bit vague on the end. I lived in the U.S. but moved back home quite a few years ago. If I wish to go back to the U.S., would I qualify for the returning resident visa or SB1? I don't even know what an SB1 is.
This is the danger of the internet. People go on the internet and they look up stuff and they see things that have absolutely nothing to do with anything that they're planning on doing. What happens to that minefield after you step on that mine? What happens? Right? Boom. So SB1 has nothing to do with this. Basically, if you had a green card and you give it up, you leave the country, whatever, it's as if you never had it. You have to apply all over again, depending on how you did it in the first place, marriage, family, sibling, employment. You need to apply again. There is no returning visa in a situation like this.
Okay. All right. There you have it, folks. The questions from the immigration segment right here on Cruising with the Case Handler. So today you had 3 segments. You heard immigration, you heard criminal defense, and obviously you heard from our shark, the case handler. And I don't think he likes that name, but
Dude, as long as people call the phone number, you can call me Sally.
Okay, Sally.
By the way, you missed it, Adam. We have nicknamed Gregg the Hammer, GP Hammer. That's the name from now on.
The Hammer.
That person who questioned about the sibling petition that they filed in 2014, I misspoke. I said 10 years, probably closer to 15 years. They're working on cases filed in 2006 right now. So she's got about 8 years to go.
All right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say thanks to each and every one for actually tuning in. I want to say thanks especially to the people who are on Facebook and sharing the page. But I want to implore everyone to store the phone number of a great law firm located in New York City, serving the tri-state area and literally the entire United States where immigration is concerned because it's federal. I want to say a special thanks to, of course, our guest attorney today, Gregg the Hammer Pinto, in the capacity of criminal defense, for being on the show today and doing a magnificent job as usual in giving his viewpoints as to what's going on and what he can do for a people. So once again, do remember you can reach him at 844-774-3529. Want to say thanks to the Maverick, who is Nelson Madrid, who surprisingly had more energy than Adam Handler today. All right. And of course, Conrad Pollack, the maestro, the man at the helm. And of course, Adam, you know, I'm just messing with you, man.
Brother, you can call me Sally.
All right. So thanks to each and every one for tuning in. Yes, it's an attorney advertisement brought to you by PPID, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. And prior results through that guarantee similar outcome. But this is a great show. And you have heard from the attorneys, you know, they're not square. They're not Joe Schmo around the block. You know, they are willing to give you free phone consultations. You can take a test ride before you actually buy the car.
And we're practicing attorneys. You know, let's add that. We are all practicing attorneys. We all work on cases. We don't just sit behind a desk. We do what we need to do.
That's it. And I love that. So that's one of the reasons. This is one of my proudest moments, you know, in 2020 is actually having a full law show on the radio. So I'm very, very happy, Adam Handler. I'm very happy, Conrad Pollack. I'm very happy, Nelson Madrid. I'm very happy, Gregg Pinto. And thanks for representing a people that was not being represented well enough in the Caribbean community. You guys are doing a great job so far out of the gate. And I'm very, very, very elated about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
With that said, we conclude our show, Cruising with the Case Handler. Check us out on 93.5 FM, 8:30 weekdays. And also, of course, Saturdays, 7 p.m. and Sundays, 12 noon. We go back and forth on the Saturdays and the Sundays. Sometimes we start a little bit earlier just to get the numbers going, to get the phones ringing so people can get their calls in. And I am going to drag every one of you one day to the Saturday show live. I'm so serious. You know, that show I know would be a hit, super hit just like this. But so it's coming, guys. It's going to be on a Saturday. Maybe someday in the summer, we can do something outdoor, you know, maybe from in Brooklyn, you know, a nice evening show. You know, we'll have food for everyone. You know, can have Gregg the Hammer Pinto there. We can have, you know, Alan Kay there. A nice show from the office, you know.
Maybe we could do it from our Brooklyn office at 107 Avenue I off McDonald Avenue.
That's what I meant.
Maybe we could do it there.
That's what I meant, you know, and, you know, provide some
fun.
food, light food, finger foods and all of that. And, you know, people can chit chat with the attorneys. I like that. I mean, it's we are a community program. So I do believe
to the old neighborhood.
Yes, exactly. And so once all of this charade of all the negative things that's happening, you know, have passed on or we've handled it, I think we should do something like that in the community. And then after that, maybe we can, Adam knows about this, we can start moving around from borrow to borrow. Right, Adam? What do you say, man?
Absolutely. Listen, you guys didn't get the squeeze I got a decade ago. This guy threw bigger parties. It was amazing. I mean, we got to bring that back, brother. This guy had more hookups and bars and clubs and artists.
I still do. It was
sick.
All the celebs. I'll bring all of them out. You know, let them hang out with us at these broadcasts. All right. I think it's great that we get into the community physically. Let people see us, you know, hopefully shake our hands back, you know, then, you know, if not, we'll do the elbow thing. But once again, thank you all so much for being here.
Thanks, Squeeze.
All right, no problem. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll catch up with you soon.